Corporate espionage is the dirty way to get rich.
Are you accusing me of something?
You found something big enough to make you a target.
It's just part of the job, right?
For about a year now, I've been stuck in this rut where I just scroll my streaming services for about 10-15 minutes, and then I just end up watching something I've seen 5 or 6 times. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. That's just how it goes. And one of those things was that led me to was called The Following with Kevin Bacon. Now, I remember I watched this years ago when it was first airing. There's only 3 seasons, and I remember I stopped watching it, but I couldn't remember why I stopped watching it. I was like, well, it's interesting. A serial killer cult obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe. I remember some songs on my playlist I still have from that first season.
I will be your friend. Even though you slept with my wife.
There is breaking news tonight from Waverly, Virginia, where serial killer Joe Carroll has finally been caught. The escaped convict was found at an abandoned...
But I rewatched that, and then I remembered why I stopped watching it, powered through all the way to the end, and that is one of the stupidest shows I've ever seen. I'm not going to go into detail, but then there was another one with Kevin Bacon that got recommended to me, where he's a bounty hunter hunting demons. I guess he died, and he has to, I don't know, send them all back to hell. I don't know. So I watched the trailer on that, and he's got some kind of southern accent, and his sidekicks are like these 2 older women. And I was like, this looks really dumb. And I ended up seeing later, like the next day, that show was canceled. So, whatever. But then I saw a really stupid thumbnail with Kiefer Sutherland. It's called Rabbit Hole. So I ended up scrolling past and then scrolling back up. And I was like, all right, I'm going to watch this trailer. Kiefer Sutherland, who I'm not like some huge fan of. I watched 24 for a few seasons way back in the day, but there really wasn't a lot of options back then either. And I stopped watching that, so I'm not some big Sutherland fan. I like him a little bit nostalgia reasons for Young Guns. But then I saw Charles Dance, who was Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones. I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. And I'm going to spoil the first episode just to set the tone of why I got sucked into it. So Kiefer Sutherland's character's name is John, and he does corporate espionage. So he's sitting at a bar watching a soccer game, and some dude on a cell phone is totally kind of freaking out. He's like, change the fucking channel. Kiefer's like, nah, man, I'm watching the game. All right, I'll change it. And he sees the news that some stock is tanking or whatever, so that's why he's freaking out. And what it later gets revealed, because some financial crimes FBI agents grilling Kiefer, saying, oh, I'm on to you, this and that. And it reveals it's like an Ocean's 11 type operation where he's got his team in there and they're working, and they wanted this guy to specifically overhear insider trade information that was false so that he would dump all his shares, and Kiefer Sutherland's client could swoop up all those shares for really cheap. So I was like, okay, this is some pretty interesting stuff. I liked Ocean's 11. This is by the same people that did Focus, which I thought was a stupid movie. That's Will Smith, Margot Robbie. But a lot of the twist and turn stuff that they did, or sleight of hand and stuff, they do really well in this. He's on to the next job, and then what that job is, they want him to make it seem like this politician's taking a bribe from some corporate person, this or that, but they don't actually know each other. It's just a setup, so they have to do all this. And some of this is pretty hokey. A lot of it has to be coincidental and everything, but you're so engaged because it's fun. And they get it to where it looks like this guy's handing this woman an envelope, and then they get pictures of it to make it seem like a bribe, like I said. Well, that goes south. Turns out that Asian guy winds up dead, and now Kiefer Sutherland, because he was part of this and he's on the security cameras and this and that, is framed for the murder. Now, it's like, okay, we just really escalated. This is episode 1. He's going to be a wanted fugitive for the rest of the season. Now, the twist that really sucked me in is at the end of this episode, he gets to a safe house, and he goes into the basement, and there's the Asian guy tied up to a chair. And then he lifts up, the guy's blindfolds down, he puts the blindfold, holds it back up. It's like, wait, so he's wanted for murder, but now he has this guy that he allegedly killed? Is he 10 steps ahead, or did he know that he was going to be framed and he kidnapped this guy? And I was really intrigued. So I will say that that kind of twist stuff stays consistent through the entire season. There's some hokey stuff with some fighting and stuff. There's a little bit of Slay Queen in there. There's politics involved and there's corporate stuff involved. It doesn't sway which one. It's kind of ambiguous, which I liked. Depending on your perspective watching it, you can view things how you want and feel the way you want, which is I think is how things should be, because you don't want something beat over the head. Now, with that said, in the final episode, there is a line where the bad guy that is trying to collect all the data and behind all this setting up stuff, there's a character that says that this bad guy wants women in the home and homosexuals back in the closet or in the ground. And I was like, we went the whole show without you. It had nothing to do with anything. So I felt like that was the writers just kind of shoving something in there. It definitely stood out, but there was nothing else like that in the entire show. It was all just twists and turns. I would say scope this out. I'm not saying it's a definite watch, but if you're into twists and stuff like that, like I said, then give it a shot. And if you've seen it, let me know what you think. I'm curious to hear people's opinions on it. And thanks for stopping by.
Well, you're really messing this one up, John.
There's definitely something bigger going on here. What have you gotten me into?
You must have absolute trust in one another and absolute trust in the plan.